everyone, and welcome to the Daytona 24 hours that happened in iRacing. Now, if you caught the stream, it was a long-ass stream. This was like 7 hours into it. We had delays. I think it was delayed 4 hours total. I mean, we played marbles. We did all sorts. We tested a few things out. We had some fun while we waited, but we eventually made it in. Alegna did the qualifying, ended up P3 in GTE, as you can see, by using the Corvette here. So we're just going to have a look at the start here. As you see, lots of cars on circuit. GT3's behind. Not all the cars loading for me for some reason. No idea why, because all cars can load. That's the option on, but there we go. As we continue out of the bus stop chicane. Now, Daytona, a track I know obviously from previous Gran Turismo, so I do know this track. I hadn't put in as much practice as, say, Alegna, who'd done over 700 laps practice. It's basically a full race there of Daytona 24 hours. I'd done about 100 maybe, 100 or so, but I was fairly up to speed. It wasn't as quick, obviously, but I was there or thereabouts where I could, you know, put in some decent times. I was about 8 tenths to a second off the aliens of iRacing. So it's not the end of the world being that far away in terms of the practice I put in. As you see there, the LMP2s going through. I kept calling them LMP1s during the stream, no idea why, as we look at the GTEs come through as well. Now, in terms of this, you can have a bit of the stream noise in the background, so you'll occasionally hear Sky Pickman, Alegna or Hubie. They were my teammates for this one in Go Plebs Racing car that we have here. One person went to Narnia at the start there, you just see them on the right side, and that is it. That is it. It was actually a really clean start here. There was a couple of incidents during the first couple of stints there for Alegna, but we're going to jump to my stints now as I get in the car. Now, I was nervous. I was nervous here, mainly because, well, you don't fully, you know, you can be scared basically because you're 24-hour race. You don't want to wreck it for your teammates. It's one of those things. It's my first 24-hour race as well. It's sort of like, oh, just don't do anything now. If you watch the Petit Le Mans, you know why I'm even more nervous than normal, because we got wiped out lap 1, minute 1. I went out in my stint because of the computer. So I was scared about that. Now, you do have the TV camera right inside. TV mix doesn't work properly here for me for some reason, so you just get TV camera 1 for now. And I'm going to take you through some highlights here as you see that LMP straight down the inside. I sort of guessed they were going to do that with the flash of lights, that they were going to just dive down the inside, and that's what they did. So with Daytona, with a 24-hour race, with endurance racing, if you do not know, it's all about racing smart here. Now, Alegna had given me the car in P1, I think it was. P1 or P2. Obviously, it varies based on the stints. We're very early on in the stints, but obviously if someone stays out a lap longer, 2 laps longer, comes in a lap earlier, you can jump people. And, you know, the laps were changing slightly between cars. Sky Pickman was spotting a lot in this one, which is very helpful, by the way. I know people will be like, why is he talking a lot? Why is he talking a lot? Etc. Sky Pickman's just spotting, letting me know what's coming up behind, what's coming up ahead. Obviously, you can see the relative down in that bottom right-hand side there as we continue on through that bus stop chicane. I'm just going to take you on a feel of the race. Now, initially, and you can hear Sky Pickman just in the background, I was just trying to get used to the car again. Obviously, getting involved in this race, it's quite difficult to just jump in and go straight off the bat when you've been waiting 6 hours. Yeah, 6.5 hours-ish, I think it was, we waited before we even got in. So it was a very long delay before we got into our stint. So 6 hours of no practice, basically, and then straight into it. So you do have to get warmed up a little bit. No ABS in this car, so I'll talk about that in a second. You'll see an LMP car coming on the inside, and they're going to be on the Ferrari on the outside there as well. So 3 wide, very scary moment in a 24. Oh, and someone binned it there as well. So we go through there. We actually gain a position. Sort of behind this BMW. Now, this is an interesting scenario, this, because they sort of moved left here, so I thought, oh, they'll let me go here, and then I sort of locked up the rears a bit. You see a little tap there. Now, in iRacing, if there is actual contact, it would have come up at the top. It didn't.
I think there was netcode. There was not even any contact.
So you can hear Sky Pickman there saying it was netcode. I think there was a further accident because of that as well. So, you know, the fact it said it didn't even say time 0. I'm assuming it was netcode that actually caused that, and I didn't actually hit the driver.
Yeah,
I don't know though.
That was netcode, because
now the Ferrari driver behind literally wanted to stay behind me. I sort of realised that quite quickly, because in slipstream they should be able to overtake me, especially on the oval part where slipstream is going to have a big impact here.
The guy behind
and yeah, it just was staying there, to be honest. And Sky Pittman let me know that he's on worn tyres as well, which sort of,
So if you can just,
you know,
yeah, stay in front
confirmed
of
my
the
assumption that the
get away on
oh.
the infield. But it'd be hard because the slipstream.
The leader's pitting now. It kept doing that. It's very annoying. We advance a bit further on in the race now, and we're going to just skip through and just have a look at some of the major parts that happened during my stints here. Nothing major here into turn 1. What's kicking off here? I don't know why I've merged this. I can't remember why I've edited this in certain parts. We will find out together. But some major, you know, incidents and the close ones. That's all that we're going to show here, and any crashes as well that we can spot. Coming around this right-hander then. Oh, someone's binned it there. An LP2 car reversing off there. I think just span and rolled off there, to be honest with you. Advance a bit further on, a little bit of heavy traffic here. So this is where you want to just take the inside here as a GTE car. Just, you know, confirm where you're wanting to be there. Don't then move over to the left like the BMW did. Can cause confusion. Then the LMP cars know behind what we're going to do now. Quite a few of them here. So I'll let off here. I know what's going to happen, and I give room for the other one. Just makes it nice and clear there. They can have that, and I leave the space then for the further car there, and we go through. And we carry on. And we're catching GT3 cars as well at the same time. So, you know, multi-class racing, 3 classes here. LMP2, GTE, GT3. I enjoy being the middle class, I've got to be honest, because I think it's actually harder. You know, being the GT3 car, you're sort of mainly looking in your mirrors. You're not looking ahead that much. LMP, all you're doing is looking ahead, not really looking in your mirrors. GTE, you are focused ahead and behind quite hard. It's quite a hard class to be in, if I'm honest. And no ABS. Now, with the braking, I was going to touch on this. I've actually adjusted my pedals, so only 80% brake will happen at 100% pedal input. And that's to avoid the lock-in, because ABS isn't realistic in any game, to be honest. Let's just put that out there straight off the bat. So LMP comes through here, and oh, I remember what happens here. So we've got P1 in the GT3 class up ahead, lapping P14 in the GT3 class. They're obviously looking to get by here as well. So they go to the outside. So I think, oh, okay, I'll follow the LMP car potentially here. Sky Pittman comes to the same conclusion, but we've just lost a little bit of speed there, and the GT3 car just comes across here. So I just have to back off here. As Sky Pittman says there, risky. If you do hear Sky Pittman, that is. I've not adjusted the audios yet, so you might not be able to hear him, I don't know, as we come through there. We lost a second. The Ferrari behind, who was just following me through here, lost some time there as well. And we continue on here. So we're going to advance a bit further on in the stint again. So that's lap 72. Where are we heading to next in terms of laps? We're going to lap 76 here. What's going to happen here? So we've got GT3 car up ahead. And what's going to happen into this braking zone? Oh, they've gone a bit sideways. Oh, full drifto there. And off they go. And nice and easy for us. Means we lose no time. They spin off and we carry on. Now, you will notice down on the right side there, we've got Spongebob. Well, not actually Spongebob, but was named Spongebob in the stream. P5 there has caught up to me and P4. We're going to look see if we can get past this GT3 car. It's going to happen here, and into the braking zone we go. So you see Spongebob there getting quite close here.
Not the same guy behind.
And we let off here, so we're still a bit nervous about traffic. Spongebob starts flashing away. He's now called Flashy Boy as well as Spongebob in the remaining of this race. And we're going to have a bit of battle with Spongebob. Let's see what we can do. So the BMW goes to the inside. That's what you should do in the lower classes. You know, stick to a line, go for it. So stick to the racing line. Let the faster cars decide where they're going to go here. So what we're going to do here is go to the left-hand side. We know Spongebob's looking to get past there with the flashing lights that he was doing earlier. And we go back to the right-hand side. No worries at all there. Flashing away. I know he's not going to dive there. That'll be a very stupid place to dive. And we keep that position for now. But we've got no slipstream here. And they do have slipstream for this next part. And we've got no LMP cars to sort of help suck us along here. So we're going to stick to the left-hand side. And obviously, Spongebob's going to get very, very close here. So the goal here is just to stick to my line as best as I can. We're going to get a bit of flashing again soon, I imagine. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, LMP comes by, actually. That's helpful. So we're actually going to go out wide. He flashes, goes for the dive down the inside. I see it at the last second. Give her enough room there. He locks up. Spongebob goes off to Narnia. We carry on there. So a late dive there, very dangerous to do at turn 1. Could have easily have wiped me out there. That was very, very close. But fortunately we live on. Not a move I would make 2 hours into a 24-hour race, to be honest. If it was 2 hours to go and it was really for position, maybe so. 2 hours in, not so much. But we carry on. Spongebob gains back some time here. As I was a bit nervous initially, and I was trying to push on as best as I could. Once I settled down, it was all golden, really. Obviously, being 6 hours out the car. iRacing, not my normal sim. There's Flashy Boy there, flashing away, but this time again, just stick to the inside. It should be golden here. You can see that in the TV camera as well, if you just can't see them. In towards the braking zone we go. On the inside, we broke a little bit earlier here to make sure we don't lock up the tyres. And we're going to keep that position for now. I think Spongebob a little bit wary on the brakes as well after that earlier lock-up. So we're going to continue on again. Look at this, Spongebob with that slipstream. What's Spongebob going to do now? We're going to get copyrighted by... who owns Spongebob? I don't know. Disney? Disney own everything nowadays, don't they? We're going to continue on the straight then. And once again, flashing away. I'm not moving from this line. No way, Jose. So I just stick to the inside. Flashing again. Flashing really doesn't work with me. You know, I know where I'm braking. I'm not going to lose concentration here. I have put in some practice at least for this race. So I know my braking points. I know what I'm doing here.
Keep covering the inside.
And into the right-hander we go. This LMP goes very... I saw that at the last second as well, so I didn't leave enough space. I think the LMP didn't quite, you know, realise they're braking there, but they avoided me and I avoided them, so it's golden. Through here we go. Stick it to the right. Keep on our line. No worries there. The LMP knows what we're doing then. Give them room on the exit. They can then accelerate out around that corner, and we can continue racing, losing very little time there in towards the braking zone. Lose a little bit just because we don't want to rear end them. And we get a little bit sucked out of that corner with a Lamborghini to boot there up ahead. Now we're going to advance a bit further on again. Spongebob back on our rear here. So it's been going on for a fair number of laps, this one. You know, up and down, traffic getting in the way a little bit as well, of course. 3 LMP cars coming through. And move over, try and get that suck as best as we can. Oh look, Flashy Boy again. Doesn't affect me. In we go. And we're going to try and push on through the bus stop chicane. And we do indeed get a bit of a gap there. And hopefully get some suck off this LMP2 car to the right hand side. Come on! Get in front of me! Get in front! There we go. So, an interesting battle to have. 2.5 hours into a race. Obviously, 20 minutes into my stint, or half an hour maybe, something like that. And, well, actually, halfway through my stint, so it'll be just under half an hour. So, flashing again. Again, that does nothing to me. I think, to be honest, if I was him, when you flash 2 or 3 times and it's not worked, I'd probably just cool off at that point and just be like, yeah, this ain't going to work, is it really? So, we continue on then into the right-hander.
You lost about 7
Obviously with slipstream on that oval bit, they are going to catch up to me fairly quickly. I did start settling into my rhythm at this point. Started calming down, breathing, and just focusing on what was happening up ahead. So we'll continue on in towards the braking zone. Flashy Boy, oh, lock the wheels up a little bit there. So when I say I adjusted the pedals, I adjusted them to make sure I could get as much braking as possible. Obviously, the slower you go, the less you have to brake, because then you start locking up your wheels, of course. Just normal logic there. As through we go, and Spongebob very close to us at this point. So let's see what happens here with Spongebob. So currently P3, I got handed the car, I think it was in P2. I'm still not 100% sure exactly where, but I'm pretty sure it's P2. So we have lost a position here. That could be due to taking tyres, it could be anything. As we then head towards the bus stop. So they're back off here. Probably quite a smart thing to do to go for it in the second half of this very fast part of the circuit. And we cut the track a lot there. We take a 1x, but we actually build that gap very nicely, 0.7 of a second. And we advance much further on. Now Spongebob, we've lost him now at that point. That's how we broke away from Spongebob. So that 1x turned out to be very valuable indeed. Very, very, very valuable. And look up ahead. Oof, that's why you keep to your line. The GT3 car went towards the right there, where the LMP car was there. Now flashing away. Obviously, they avoided that, fortunately. And we're going to go down the inside now. Quite a sketchy moment there, I imagine, for the LMP2 car. P2 in that class as well. So, you know, they have to breathe a little bit there. And, you know, they got kind of lucky to survive that one. So, we advance further on ahead here. What have we got coming up? here then? We've got an LP car coming up behind. They're going to launch it because they're flashing the light, so I'd just brake early here, knowing that was going to happen. This LMP car kept diving quite a lot, and then later on in the race they stopped diving. It's kind of a bit weird, so I'm assuming the team was like, chill your beans, or they'd had a near miss. Could be either of them. Obviously, if you have a near miss, you do sort of back out of it a little bit more. So we're catching P12 in our class here, in the GTE class. But we're coming in the pits, so my brake mark for the pits was where it just dived to the left there, the diagonal bit. Just brake down and just make sure we don't speed in the pit lane. I know I got very close in somewhere, I can't remember where it was, it could be the end of my second stint actually. So in we go, we stop for tyres, just in the marker. That's close. We advance a bit further on now. So we're keeping the same tyres in this situation, and we're going to just fill up here and head out the pits. Now, we were debating double or triple stinting. We were double stinting at the time, but they recognised that my tyres were very good, so we're actually going to start triple stinting from this moment. Which is good to hear that my tyres were very good, you know, it helped. We're coming out, I have no idea, P6 there, I believe, because Spongebob's in P6 at the moment, so that'll be P7 for Spongebob. We've got a bit further on, we're now in P3, obviously this is where the pits and all change happens.
I've seen the
and P2 coming in the pits, so we're going up to P2 in this situation, which is good. You know, we've gained a position there as the LMP car goes by. And are they going to dive down into turn 1? They are indeed, round the outside. Fair play. As Hubie is joining the chat in the background, if you do have that audio, as I say, I'm not sure how I'm editing this at the moment. As round we go, this is a bit sketchy, and you can see a lot of traffic on that TV camera. LMP2 car there as well. So I just stick to my line, I don't want to move around too much there. Now here I wanted to stay out wide, just not change line. LMP car misjudged that slightly, and I'm going to let them have that anyway. So I was hoping they would take the racing line, because that would just save everybody time there. So just a misunderstanding, it can happen in multi-class racing.
Had a bit of food, so I'm
and through we go.
Now.
Let's advance a bit further on, lap 103. Now this stint actually is less dramatic than the previous one. So you see we jump 4 laps ahead with an LMP2 car facing the wrong way at turn 1. As through we go, and let's advance further on. 110 now. You see we're advancing quite quickly. As you see that on the motorway a lot. Just a dive straight across your nose there, and into the pits that LMP goes. Bit of an interesting one, to be honest, you know. But they judged it well. They made it in, so can't complain, I suppose. And you do see this Corvette ahead here, in the GTE class. So what we're going to do is we're going to just fast forward a little bit. Now, I wouldn't flash someone in my class unless I was very close to them, because we're going to be matched very similar on speed and stuff like that. And my teammates were saying, you know, after this, maybe just flash, just let them know. And I already had that in my head anyway, that I was going to do that. You know, this LMP car comes through, I can follow the LMP in the suck then, it gives me a bit of an advantage. And then it's, you know, he doesn't lose that much time, I don't lose that much time, and we could continue on. So what we will do in a second, once this other LMP car goes through, and this next one as well, as once they go past, we can then flash. It gives them time to think about it as well. We can flash and say, okay, we want to come past, we are the faster car here, we are actually lapping you, and fair play to Flanagan there, just moves over. So you know, limits time loss there into the braking zone. They lose a little bit of time, but not a lot with fighting. Sky Pittman came across the radio and just thanked them as well. Yeah, because it was kind, you know, it's very hard when you are the back marker in a class and your class leader's coming through, because you don't want to lose that much time, and you hope they're going to push on. And they did indeed there. So yeah, huge thank you to that driver. Advance to lap 120 now, so we've gone a bit further on here. Look at this for a busy part of the circuit. GT3 and LMPs all in the mix here, down the inside of this first car. And another GT3 car up ahead there as well in that BMW. So this one is a bit of a misunderstanding with myself and the GT3 car here. So they sort of go to the right here, trying to command, well, they're trying to take the racing line. It was a bit close there. I sort of guessed they were going to come back across, so I did just back out of it a little bit there. Kind of an awkward situation to be in, to be honest. I probably should have just stayed behind, and just that would have made it a bit more easier to understand. As we then hit the left-hander here. It's very difficult. There's an LP car behind me now as well, so it makes it even more difficult. P1 in the class as well, so we're definitely going to let them go. And 3 wide there. Look at that, the TV camera. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? Through we go.
Still there.
Get a bit of
There's
suck
another
from
LMP
P1
coming
in
up.
class. Still in
Yeah,
P2.
the
We
GT3
were
right
slowly
now.
catching P1 in our
I think
class
it
here.
beat you after the first
But we also had P3 in our
yeah.
class. They were catching us, but they got actually hit off by a GT3 car. So they lost a lot of time. And they did start catching us again, but they were changing tyres every stint or every other stint, but they were changing drivers every stint, something like that anyway.
Oh, you must
Um,
have exit, so.
So we continue
Don't worry
on
about it.
past this other GT3 car.
Clear on the left.
And happy days, we continue on. Let's see where we end up next. Lap 122.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
After,
127 now. So again, we're catching another GTE class car here, P10. And it's a similar situation here. We were behind them for a couple of laps actually, not just one lap. So again, I was waiting for the LMP to go, make it very easy for them. They don't have to worry about two things at once. LMP can go through. We then flash to say, okay, we just want to come by here, you know, and then we can carry on racing.
3 laps to go.
Beautiful racing. Lets me by there. Doesn't lose any time really here. Just stays on the outside line. Maybe lose what? A couple of tenths. Nothing major.
Oh,
And we all continue
Yeah, I'll
racing
keep
here.
an
And in fact, the
eye
Porsche's actually going to lock up behind here just a tad.
Need to uncheck.
You can see they're just
the
coming
tires
a bit hot. And we continue racing. So again, brilliant driving there from. I'm not even going to pronounce that surname. I cannot pronounce that in the slightest. But
I will stay
thank you
on
to
the
the Porsche
tires.
driver. So I didn't realise this
Just
BMW
in
was going to let me
case.
go here. I'm not used to
He's letting you
cars letting me go nice and easy like that. Kind of again a misunderstanding that you can have in multi-class. Does someone let you go? Does somebody not let you go?
Just keep the left side.
I mean, we saw that in the Lambo earlier on. So we've got LP come in here, and at this point, I was always going to just stick to the right here. I'm making sure that they don't dive down the inside, and I wasn't going to initially go for that on the BMW into that corner either. Now coming into this corner, I knew I could get a run on the BMW. We get that run indeed. In towards the braking zone we go, down the inside. While it costs us a little bit of time, it costs us more to stay behind in that situation. So
Well
we do
claimed.
get the move done.
This is your in lap.
And we put authority on our position. And this is our last lap of our stint. So a 2-hour stint. Went flawlessly, really. We've got, what, 4x across our stints, which is not too bad. One of them was actually worthwhile getting as well. That 10th one to pull away from Spongebob. The time, I think we gained like 3 seconds on the P1 in our class. The P3 driver there, you could just see them. They were catching us. I say they were on fresh tyres as well. I could have been quicker in my stint. I easily could have been quicker in my stint. Obviously very nervous at the start because I was making sure my PC was running okay. I wanted to play it very safe. I didn't want what happened at Petit Le Mans. So, you know, I'm very happy with my stints here. Happy days as we come in there. So that's technically, what, nearly 24 minutes of Daytona here. But yeah, over the moon there. We just stop in time for the pit limiter.
Nice stint.
In we go.
Nice.
I like it says nice stint. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. You know, I'm pleased with how that went.
Yeah, tires are
Couldn't have asked for
perfect.
anything better, really.
83, 85,
And you can see I'm happy as well. I can relax. I'm thinking, oh, excellent. I've got to drive at like 4 AM now. So I'm thinking about maybe going to sleep a little bit later on. But I carry on watching for now because... Yeah, Murray. Can we see the blimp cam? Yeah, why not? That's what we're here for, to enjoy the race from... However, hey, look at this. That's actually a good way to spot this to some extent.
Oh, there's someone
Go
there
right.
too. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. That's...
wait, you're on the wheel. Can you try and
Car has too much damage. We've got to fix
try
it.
it?
Do I tow?
Tow.
For fuck's sake.
Have you ever seen me be so silent and so stunned? So here's what happened then, just to explain. So the BMW gets tapped from behind after an initial incident, rolls off the circuit, and then the BMW decides to do one of the most ridiculous joins I've ever seen in my life at this circuit. Look at that, they're taking up most of the track there. We come round, absolutely pile drive the rear end of that car, and it's game over
Smallest part of
for
it.
us, essentially. We couldn't really do much more, as I'll demonstrate in a second. But look, we come through here. So Sky Pittman's got 3 things going on at this point. He's got an LMP car behind him, obviously worried about that. He's then got the concern of the car on the right side. So he's got 2 things, sorry, going on for him, and thinking about the corner ahead, of course. And then suddenly this car appears. Look at this from the LMP car, though. They both react at the same time. You can see them both react at the same time. The LMP car obviously a bit more time. They both see it at the same time. It's game over at that point. for us.
that's
So
fine.
just to demonstrate how
and
bad
that
this car is, okay, we went back out because we don't give up usually, but we did give up in this situation, and I'm going to show you why we gave up. The team, by the way, never said sorry. Never said sorry to us at all, which is
How
nuts.
did you even manage to get wheel spin with this amount of
Yeah.
power?
So,
I could not.
this car has no power now. We did all the repairs. We could not repair it anymore.
I've tried
Watch
for
that
15
delta. So it's
laps.
2.2 seconds, basically. Watch what it is by the end of the straight. We're going to carry on. And, yeah, it's
Nope,
mad.
the people that took us out have never apologized. I messaged them. I told them what the fuck. What was that? What was the point of doing that? And
Yeah, they were.
didn't
And
react at all.
also, they were like P14 in GT3 with like 7 laps down on their class leader, I think. So there
See,
was
you can hear in the background, they didn't apologise at all. Now look at this delta. We're flat out. We're 100% throttle here. So we couldn't even overtake
5 or 6.
GT3
Yeah,
cars, just FYI on this.
laps
It's why
feel
we gave
very
up, because it was pointless.
I know.
And we were lapping in 140, I think we got down to a 44 by the
Look at
end
the-
of
look at the
trying to...
delta.
So,
Don't
the fact we're in 46s, this is GT3 territory, so we're just like, yeah, there's no point doing this. There is literally no point, so we just did a few more laps.
44.
But that is going to be it for me now, folks. It's a second endurance race, gone completely wrong. Hopefully one will come our way soon, but that's going to be it for me. Subscribe if you like the channel, like if you liked it, dislike if you dislike it. See you in a video or live stream very soon.